Welcome to 5 Minutes with Jack, the ramblings of an insane entrepreneur, where I help you tie into your passion to generate profits by building a business that you love. Hey folks, Jack Spirko here with episode 36 of 5 Minutes with Jack. Today's an important episode. I want to talk to you today about the subject that I call priming the social media pump. And I want to explain to you that way back in the day, back in like 2006, when I was all head down and into my internet marketing SEO world, and I was taking clients and working for companies, and for a while building my own consultancy firm and doing all that stuff, I was always trying to crack the social media egg, man. Back then, you know what it was? It was about getting dug. If you could go to Dig and you could get a story dug, you would get 20, 30, 40,000 visitors in a day. And it was like the holy grail, and everybody wanted to do it. And there were a lot of other little social media things starting to pick up. StumbleUpon was actually already around, starting to do well. Back then there was a company called My Blog Log that was actually pretty cool. And there was a lot of social media stuff you could do. And I never really cracked it because I was thinking about it purely as a manipulator of the system. That's a confession. And as I started to build a business of my own that I was really passionate about, that I really loved, where the customers that I had, the listeners that I had, the viewers that I had were people that I actually cared about. I answered all my own email. When somebody had a question or a problem, I tried to help them. And that's what it really became all about. All of a sudden, I have 5,000 Facebook fans, I have 1,000 Twitter followers, I have people, and it started out with people saying, hey man, you need to be on Facebook, we want to connect with you on Facebook. I was asked to come to Facebook. I was asked to let people know what my Twitter account was, I had a little personal one instead of for the brand, for the business, that people were starting to join, and I'm like, man, I gotta sort this out. I gotta communicate to these people in the way that they want to be communicated with. I didn't like Facebook. I'll tell you, I still don't love, I'm okay with Facebook now. I don't love it. I don't care that you're buying bread and other things that people post on Facebook, but I like seeing people's pictures and videos and reconnecting with family members and stuff like that. It's actually pretty cool. I've learned that it's a great tool for communication during emergencies, but I'll let that go because that's my passion coming through about being prepared. But what I learned in this experience is that when I got really successful with Facebook was when I started bringing people to Facebook. So in other words, I had this brand. I had this brand, and people were Facebook users to a degree, but I made their interactivity on Facebook go to another level because they wanted to communicate with me. And the difference between building your business by having a Facebook page and using Twitter and Yelp and all these other great social media platforms, it really comes down to what are you bringing to the table instead of what can you get. So that's the problem with corporate America. That's why, and send this to any marketing person that that works for a major corporation today. Any marketing person because I want to talk to them in this one as well. This is why you're screwed up. This is why you can't get it right. This is why you're asking stupid questions like, what's the ROI on a Facebook page? Because you're an idiot and you don't understand that Facebook isn't about the direct ROI. There's plenty of ROI there. But you have to prime the pump first. You have to be part of the communication. You have to care about your customers enough. Why should you be on Facebook? Because most of America and most of the world today is on Facebook. It's one of the hottest internet properties in the world. And that means that some segment of the people you serve are there. So you need to be there to help them. To do what they want you to do because they're asking you to as your customer. When you come with a servant attitude into a Facebook, into a Twitter, when you say basically, I already have people that are already part of my business that want me there, and you communicate with them, then you bring something to the system instead of just taking from it. Then the system will give back to you. It's just like priming a pump. Priming a pump works this way, but put a new well in. Beautiful well. Great pump. Top of the line. Pipe goes 100 feet into the ground. Water table's at 80 feet. So the bottom of the pipe has holes in it, and it's sitting in 20 feet of water. No reason that water won't come up out of that pump. And I start using a hand pump, or I turn the electric pump on. Nothing happens. Now, a lot of pumps today are self-priming. Forget about it. Because this is what is being done is the same thing as if you manually did this. You get a great big bucket of water, you dump it down the pipe, and you fill the pipe with water. Now you turn the pipe on, and the water starts to flow. And as long as that pump doesn't lose its prime, You can pump as much water as you want to out of that well. You can have more water than you ever need, as long as you're not abusive with water and waste the resource. It's there. That's how Facebook works. That's how Twitter works. That's why idiots in corporate America that are trying to figure this stuff out now can't figure it out. They think they're more important than they are. They think they're better than they are. They want to show up and they want people to flock to them and give them new incremental business before they're part of the system, before they contribute to community. They want to take before they give. Social media doesn't work that way. That's why it's scaring the crap out of the establishment. It's even scaring the crap out of internet companies, big billion-dollar internet companies like Google. Google hasn't been able to crack social media. They've tried it with things like Orkut and all this other stuff, but when it comes down to it, they haven't been able to crack it. Their game is search. That's where they're at, and they're in the phone business now too. But they really haven't cracked social media. And social media is so much more powerful than plain search, because I can ask you not only where I can find a place to order a pizza, but what your experience has been. And you're not just some random person on some review site. You're actually a person that I've known in my network that I connect with. It's much more powerful because a president or CEO of a company can talk to his customers and actually know what those people are thinking without it going 16 levels through reports and people bullshitting to keep their job. CEOs, presidents, directors of marketing, you want to know why you should be on Facebook, you should want to know why you should be on Twitter, so that the people that work for you will stop bullshitting you and telling you everything's swell, and you can actually hear from the person that spends their money out of their freaking pocket so that you can cart your ass around in that fancy car and have that fancy house. I don't begrudge you the fancy car and the fancy house. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I want you to have as much success as you possibly can. I want our government to leave you keep as much of it as you can so you can put it back in your business and build it even bigger. But I'll tell you this, if you're a large organization, if you have a lot of directors and VPs in the mix, they're not telling you the truth. Your customers will tell you the truth. Get off your ass once in a while. Get on your own Facebook and Twitter account, CEOs, directors, VPs. See what's really going on the street. See what people really think. See where the problems really are. Make a difference. And if you're a small entrepreneur, an individual, know that you got those guys beat because you care more than they do. You've got the time and you've got enough caring to be talking to the people that visit your site, ask them what they really want, deliver what they're really looking for. And that's why the big companies are scared of you. So little guys, go out and kick Goliath's ass. And Goliath, pay attention, because there's not one David lining up to get a crack at you. There's literally 1 million Davids for every Goliath right now, standing in a line, 1 million long abreast, hurling that social media rock right at you. You can either care and get in the game for real, or you can assign it to somebody else to do it for you that will never care as much as you do and not take care of your customers. The rules of business are a constant. They apply to a multi-billion-dollar corporation the same way they do to an individual entrepreneur. And when it comes to social media, what are you bringing to the table? You want to know why you don't have more success at Facebook or Mix or Dig or any other social networking site? What are you bringing to the table? Bring something. Prime the pump. It'll give you plenty back.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of 5 Minutes with Jack. To learn more, connect with our community, and get free resources to build your business, visit jackspirko.com.